What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be discussing 5 things I believe every person should get done before the Burning Crusade gets released. These aren't any in real particular order, but we are starting with one that I do believe is incredibly important, and that is leveling a Druid to level 60 and being ready to level it to 70. Druids, if you do not already have one, are by far the best gatherers in the game. Flight form is much cheaper than it is for other classes who have to buy it. You go through the chain, and you get it at level 68. You get into the air 2 levels before anybody else does. That might not sound like a big deal, but frankly, I think it is. On top of that, herbing and mining is a very dangerous thing to do on a PvP realm, and being able to change forms, root your opponent, get out of combat, and turn into your flight form and get away is going to be incredibly valuable. So in my opinion, the Druid is by far the best herbing, mining, gatherer in the game. On top of that, there are a few other benefits that you get from getting a Druid to level 70, and that is access to the Sethic Hall's secret boss. Now, that boss is part of your epic flying chain and can only be summoned by the Druids in the game. On top of that, that secret boss has a chance of dropping a rare mount. If I'm not mistaken, it is about a 1 in 2,000 chance of dropping. But if, Classic is anything like it was 15 years ago, there are going to be plenty of people who want that mount, and some people will even pay you per run to go after that mount. So not only can you make some decent gold by going and getting some good herbing and mining done, better than anybody else, but you can also make a pretty penny by selling those Sethic Hall runs to try and get the mounts. On top of that, Druids in TBC, in my opinion, are pretty fun to play. They are incredibly strong in the game, and I think they even shine in PvP more than they do in just vanilla. So that is the very first thing I think a lot of people should do after getting their main character to level 70. Get that Druid up, get its flight form, get its epic flight form, max out that mining and herbing, and try to make a lot of gold before others can. Next on my suggestion list is important for anybody who wants to have a Jewelcrafter in TBC. And Jewelcrafting is, one, an incredible way of making gold in TBC, as well as your character gets access to special gems that only Jewelcrafters can use. They are more powerful versions of other gems. So, I would recommend starting to collect the items that you need to level Jewelcrafting right now. Some of these items have already gone up in price on my server. I'm sure they're going to go up on other servers, and I'm sure as soon as pre-patch hits, or as soon as Jewelcrafting is able to be leveled, anything that is used for leveling Jewelcrafting is going to spike incredibly hard. So, not only do I recommend picking up enough stuff for you to level your Jewelcrafting from 1 to 300, but I also recommend picking up extra materials if you can passively, or if you see an incredible deal on the auction house. That way, you can sell it on the auction house when TBC launches, and people with deep pockets are willing to spend gold rather than time on these Jewelcrafting items. Again, I really do believe that most of these items will spike in TBC. If you are somebody who likes to gamble or play the stock market, these items might be something that appeal to you. when it comes to speculating on how to make some gold once TBC drops. Alright, next on my list of things to do in preparation for TBC is to level a Paladin. Once TBC drops, mages are no longer going to be the kings of carrying and boosting when it comes to things like Maraudon. That crown is going to fall solely on the heads of Paladins. Not only will we continue to be the kings of dead mines and stockades, but we will easily be able to do dungeons like Razor Fen Down, which I can actually boost in Razor Fen Down right now, Zul'Farrak Graveyard, and if your gear is good enough, and as long as we don't see a nerf to Skullflame Shield and Demon Forge Armor, or Demon Forge Breastplate, we should be able to see Paladins, maybe just one or two, being able to mass pull an Undead Stratholme and even boost people to level 60. So, in my opinion, Paladins are going to be absolutely essential to the boosting meta if it exists in TBC. Not only that, Paladins are a ton of fun in TBC. If you want to be an arena player, you need to get a Paladin, and not only do you need to get a Paladin, you need to get a brooch from Viscidus in AQ40. Start farming for that now, because once TBC hits, you are then going to have to try to find a group of people to help you go kill Viscidus and get the brooch that way. The brooch from Viscidus is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful item when it comes to arenas. The shield that it provides is still percentage based on heal. It is impossible to overstate how important that trinket is. On top of that, Paladins become absolute monsters when it comes to mass pulling and tanking dungeons. Paladins become amazing tanks in TBC. On top of that, they are still incredibly good at AoE farming. Of course, you don't need your Skullflame Shield and your Demon Forge Breastplate to AoE farm if you have enough mitigation, but they are still amazing. I highly recommend it. Now, of course, Holy is still good, and Retribution does see a good increase in its viability, even though it is still not the best. So, the next thing that I would recommend if you are somebody who is not speculating on items that will spike in price from Classic over to Classic TBC, and that is making sure that you have enough gold to not only get your flying, but your epic flying as soon as you hit level 70. I can promise you that the feeling of going from regular flying to epic flying is a massive difference. Not only that, but you can get the riding crop, your carrot on a stick, your mithril spurs, and your enchanting to gloves on top of your epic flying, and you're going to move so much faster. Getting around the map with an epic mount, epic flying mount, as opposed to the normal one is an incredible difference. So, like I said, if you are somebody who is okay sitting on a decent amount of pure gold, make sure you have the bankroll to get yourself your epic flying mount, because the normal flying mount is only a 60% speed. And while flying over the map makes it so that you're not going to run into mobs and you're not going to run into players who are going to kill you, that 60% speed feels awful compared to your epic flying. So I highly recommend getting some gold, banking it, and holding on to it, and making sure you have enough to get it right at 70. And then finally, I recommend this for everybody. get your Kel'Thuzad trinket. This may be number 5, but this is important for everyone. If you're going to do carries, if you're going to DPS, anything. 85 spell power to demons or 150 attack power to demons is unbeatable. It is a huge trinket against any demon fight. If your guild is not able to kill Kel'Thuzad, I know there are guilds that are still struggling, save up your gold and get yourself into a GDKP and get one immediately. If you can, maybe try to bribe a guild on your server to let you buy it from them. Although I think that's going to be a bit difficult because every raid that is taking the game seriously knows that every single person in their raid is going to want the phylactery trinket. Now, do not fret if you don't get this before TBC comes out. You can come back with a group of level 70s and you can burn your way through Naxxramas pretty easily without needing 40 people. From what I know, many guilds are still going to continue farming Naxxramas even into CBC because there are multiple items in there that are very useful, and of course the most notable of that is going to be the Kel'Thuzad trinket. I cannot recommend this enough. It is incredibly powerful. So to recap, the 5 things that I think everybody needs to do before TBC comes out. 1, make a druid specifically for herbing and mining. 2, make a paladin so that you can do carries, or if you want to AoE farm or heal for arenas. 3, farm gold. Make sure you have a bank that is high enough to get your epic flying. 4th, get your items ready for jewel crafting because they are going to spike. And then finally, get your phylactery trinket from Kel'Thuzad. If you do these things, you are going to be starting off TBC kind of front of the pack and ready to take on the entire expansion. So that is going to do it for us. If there are any other things you think that players should get done before TBC comes out, please drop it in the comments below. As always, if you have any questions or you want to see me do Paladin 1 pulls of dungeons, you can come over to twitch.tv/the Duke of TBC. I stream every day at 9 p.m. PST, sometimes earlier depending on raid times. I'm always willing to answer questions or to show you my builds. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later!